So my understanding of this material is that textiles are, first of all, fundamental. Every society uses textiles, and the majority of societies have used textiles much more frequently than they've used metals, for example. So we tend to have an expectation that the longer a material lasts, the more value it has. That's part of our contemporary culture. But in the cultures of antiquity, and I think particularly pre-Columbian, pre-contact cultures in the Americas, we see that actually longevity of material is not the priority necessarily. So the use of thread and string both references these pre-Columbian technologies, for example, the khipu computer, which the Fowler actually does have one in their collection as well, but also the work of women, the craft materials that are used in the home, the body, because textiles are also often fitted to enclose the body. And so all of these are considered to be central and valuable in the lineage that Aguniya is talking about, and that's a matrilineal cultural lineage. So the way that I look at it is that textiles are a technology, and they're one of the earliest grid-based technologies, particularly weaving. The same grid that the textile occupies is the same grid that the pixel occupies. So digital imaging and culture is actually derived from the same technologies. And we understood this implicitly in the time of the ancient Greeks when they spoke of techne being all technologies that human beings produce, which includes both something like pottery, which we consider to be an ancient craft, and something much more contemporary, again, such as our various technology-based innovations. And so the textile itself represents human culture in that sense. It comes from the earth, the materials are grown from the earth, they're cultivated, and then in this case she's also using the cochineal dye, which is a traditional dye used by indigenous people in the Americas that is produced from crushing the shells of the cochineal beetle. And so it's an animal product. It's also, again, harvested from the earth. So the same plants that are cultivated to weave the fabric also then host the beetles, and then the beetles are crushed and they make the dye. So there's this kind of ecosystem or this interrelationship with the earth that's also really critical to the way that the materials are gathered, used, and interpreted in this work. So in terms of a reference to a kind of representational understanding of a female body or female anatomy, I think that that is in some ways incidental. It may be intentional on part of the artist, I can't speak to that, but what I can say is that everything about this work is infused with a matrilineal understanding of history, of making, of invention, of creation, of community, and so it takes feminine forms.